Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bsv TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wasn't asked why I'm convinced. Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively Bsv is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today. Whoa, and we're there. Good afternoon, everybody. We are finally live. Sorry about that. Just had to run a few errands, which is why I'm a little bit late today. Welcome to the show. Might do a free one today because there's just a few articles I want to go through rather than a few videos. And you wouldn't believe this, but I was just scrolling through my the messages that I sent to myself earlier to remind myself of videos that I wanna go over, and YouTube have removed almost all of them. Like, honestly, unbelievable. Like, the videos about the World Food Council, other videos from the World Economic Forum. Just honestly, it just makes me realize that we are being censored. Like, if you live in China, like for example, had a Chinese girlfriend once. She had no idea about the Tiananmen Square massacre. Like, literally no idea. So when I brought that up to her, I was just like, well, what's your take on the Tiananmen Square massacre? She was just like, well, what's that? Like, literally, an integral part of Chinese history. Didn't have a clue about Tiananmen Square. And then I'm realizing that we here in the West are being censored as well. I mean, all you've got to do, experts, obviously, seeing World Trade Center 7 coming straight down, they were like, yeah, that's a demolition job. That takes months and months of preparation. And the Dutch chap who first looked at it didn't know that it was World Trade Center 7 and said, yeah, that's a really good, demolition job. And they were, and then they said, well, would you believe us if we told you that was actually World Trade Center 7 that came down on 9/11 within a day, apparently being pulled? He was just like, nah, there's just no way it can be rigged. There's no way a building like that can be rigged in a few minutes on the same day where terrorist, in brackets, attacks are happening. The lift shafts completely dismantled, like disintegrated. But what are we meant to do? What you gonna say to the world's largest superpower? Excuse me, I don't like what you're doing. Good luck with that. And what are you gonna do if you try and expose them? again, I mean, the people that have tried to expose them, have vanished and disappeared, as they say. Been murdered in random break-in and entries. Like, honestly, it's really kind of scary what's going on, to be honest with you. I digress. Sorry about that. But let's just crack on with the show. Do a few intros here. So we'll let Michael Saylor do my favourite introduction here on Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, take the floor, please, and tell us what Bitcoin is all about before Blockstream tampered with it and effed it up, centralising the project and turning BTC into a load of crap. Let's hear about Bitcoin. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is.
So do we, Michael. So do we.
And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain.
There we go. Thank you very much, Michael. We've just told everybody what Bitcoin is all about, but those big blocks ain't coming because you've bought Coin and they don't want big blocks. They want little Raspberry Pis. It is never going to happen. Wake up and smell the coffee. Right, and if you don't believe us that Coin has been taken over, let's just have a listen to Samson Mao, the chief strategy officer of Blockstream, telling us that they control it. Take the floor, Samson. Take the words right out of my mouth. Here we go.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
Thank you very much, Samson. And how does he know that Blockstream control it? Well, on the 24th of August 2017, they implemented SegWit, which meant that they were no longer accountable to anybody on the network, which means they now fundamentally control it. So you might have a distributed network, but it is now centrally controlled by Blockstream. This is why Satoshi Nakamoto created a chain of signatures, so that all the devs and users on the network were equally accountable. No governance is required and no one can control it. However, if no one can control it, if nobody could tamper with it or change it in any way, it would simply be a centrally controlled project and be worthless. So Satoshi knew that this was going to happen, or the chances of it happen were going to be extremely highly likely that a group of douchebags like Blockstream would do exactly as they have done and socially engineer control of the ticker symbol, which means that they're going to be done for passing off. Imagine the class action lawsuits being brought against them when people find out what they've done. Oh, don't want to be in your shoes, Samson Mao. No, thank you. Anyway, another group of developers after that thought they would do the same, led by Roger Ver and his group of crony mates who want to be able to smoke crack in their own homes and facilitate child abuse and human trafficking and drug dealing and every other shit type of behaviour that, or should we say abhorrent types of behaviour that these, what's the word? Don't want to say a word that won't get banned from YouTube. Wretched human beings, like depraved human beings, like to behave in. So listen to Roger Ver getting really excited about being able to facilitate wretched human behaviour. Take the floor, Roger. Here we go.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Yeah, thanks for that, Roger. You absolute cretin. You're unbelievably foolish and stupid. If you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal all the time, just go use your Visa card. This is like somebody saying, right, you can either invest in coffee, which is a perfectly regulatory compliant, should we say, classified commodity that everybody likes. And so you can either invest in, like a coffee plantation, or you can have a cocaine drugs lab that you can invest your money in because the investor kind of like wants to sell it for unknown reasons. That is already on the radar of the DEA. Like, would you really bother investing in a business that is going to be shut down in the future by the DEA? What's the point? It is so stupid. You are outing yourself as a criminal using this thing. It has got no value whatsoever. It's just so stupid. Like, literally, this is why I say shitcoiners and stupid people are dangerous. They're dangerous because they are inconsiderate and self-centered. So just stay away from them. For your own safety, quite literally. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one, just because we had a douchebag turncoat earlier on today. Anyway, so this is the... I actually had my cousin say to me earlier, he goes, the information that you've just told me about Cardano and proof of work was really interesting. You should do a show on it. Really? Well, funny, I do a show on this every day, Actually, number go up, people. We'll look at that in just a minute. But before we do that, let's just remind ourselves. What is it that shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yes, indeed. And let's listen to a classic shitcoiner describing their project and how they feel about it. Take the floor, Charlie Lee. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? Didn't really expect it to become anything.
No, we didn't know that, Charlie, but we do now. Thank you very much, you absolute snake in the grass, you exit scammer. So, like, I'm absolutely livid, but again, shitcoiners, shit for brains, I'm absolutely furious with them. But I mean, maybe it's worth going. Maybe. Is it really worth going through this again? So, I've overheard. So, again, this is how stupid these libertarians are. They're talking about governance. They're like, so how do we decide on governance? We need governance in this coin. How do we get it? You don't get governance over a commodity. A commodity is common to everyone. If someone governs it, it is not a commodity. It is a security. Probably a token at best. It is fundamentally worthless because it has governance. Like the whole point of something being a commodity, like coffee is grown. Bitcoin is mined. If you have governance over that mining operation and a centralized authority who dictates who can and can't do what, it is not a commodity. It is fundamentally absolutely worthless. So if you are stupid enough to actually go and support a project like Bcrash, like you, I don't have a word for how stupid you are. I have you in utter contempt. Utter contempt. Same with Corecoin. Everyone's going, in fact, we'll just have a remind ourselves of what Anthony Pompilano just recently said in a tweet about Corecoin. This is just so ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. Here we go. So, leads me into my first topic of discussion here. I mean, this is what this douchebag said. It goes, the Lightning Network is going to disrupt the legacy payment network and they won't see it coming. No, you won't see it coming because you are stupid. So let's talk about this Lightning Network and all these nodes. The only reason data can have value is if it is secure, if that data is immutable. Now, the only way that data can be secure and immutable is if it goes through the blockchain. because it's the blockchain that is decentralized and distributed and doesn't have a single central source of failure, because there is competition within those who economically sustain the network. In the Lightning Network, there is no competition. There are network nodes and Raspberry Pis that try and find the best route for your payment to go through various channels that have to be charged up to make sure they have enough credit in them so they can pass your bullshit bit of data along. But is there anything securing that data? No, it can just simply be turned off and deleted and lost. Because it's not secure. It hasn't gone through the chain. It is not a commodity. It is a centralized piece of absolute garbage. Literally absolute garbage. The data on it has no value whatsoever. You may as well just send somebody an email saying, here's $10. They'll be like, well, how can I spend that $10 down the shop? Well, you just send the shop an email as well saying, here, I've got this, somebody said they sent me $10 and here's, I'm passing it on to you. It's absolutely ridiculous. There is no value in that whatsoever. It is literally like sending an email. I'm furious with these shitcoiners with shit for brains because they're just so effing dumb. God. Hopefully you can hear the contempt in my voice for them. Jeepers. You know, because every little bit of distraction, you know, as CSW said, makes Bitcoin less secure. Every time somebody focuses their attentions away or distracts people from it, less secure, because it is an economic model. That's the whole point. You know, I mean, hopefully, I mean, obviously CSW being the richest man in the world, you know, will be able to do quite a lot substantially about that issue himself. But he needs help. You know, it's not something that somebody can just simply do on their own. You know, we need users on the network, utility. And that utility initially has to be demonstrated by people who are smart enough to recognize what they can use it for, how they can save money with it, how they can make their business more efficient, how they can make their data more secure so they don't have to spend loads of money on securing it. Just simply go through the blockchain. It's that simple. You know, and if we can make the blockchain, the use of the blockchain, you know, increase in speed and scale and reducing in cost, well, great. More people are going to use it, which is why all the miners and developers, you know, on the network go towards making the system more valuable by being more efficient. That's the entire point of Bitcoin. But yeah. Let's have a quick look at these figures. Haven't seen these today. Let's do this, find out what's going on. The Tell. Oh, number go up. I was hoping it would go down, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm waiting for my money to come in. Oh, no. But anyway, look at the difference here. So, CoinDance says 223. And Preve in the top left of my screen says 230 currently. Bit of a mismatch there. Network nodes 2.5, transactions 31.1, block size 42.1. So that means increased data going through the chain. Let's just spot the biggest block on Bcrash for lulz. We've got 2.9. They'll be lucky to beat that. Yeah, 2.9. And Michael Saylor, if you're watching and looking out for your big blocks on the blockchain, they are nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. What's the biggest one? A 1.3, 1.4, 1.49. Oh dear, oh dear. Honestly, like talking about, you know, a 1 megabyte restriction, right? Let me just show you these images here. This is what I wanted them for. So this image that we are looking at, this is what I called the Bsv Bliss Image. So a bit like, you know, Windows had the Bliss Image. Well, this is Bsv's Bliss Image. This single image alone, when it was uploaded to the genuine Bitcoin blockchain, this image was 6 megabytes. 6 megabytes for one image. You know, and Bitcoin can do this in one transaction. These absolute bullshit transactions here that we're looking at on Corecoin, these are only 1.2 megabytes for an entire block. And we can do 6 times that in one transaction. Not a block, a single transaction. That's how efficient the genuine Bitcoin blockchain is. And then the other one, so this was literally like a few hours after that first one was made. This was the deep space field. Oh my god, yeah. Deep space. Look at this. So this was actually a 10 megabyte, a transaction. And again, going over again, repeat myself, a single transaction, not a block with multiple transactions in it, a single transaction, 10 megabytes. And Corecoin can't even get above like a 1.3 megabyte block. That's how ridiculous Corecoin is. How utterly stupid. Utterly stupid. Let's have a look around this. Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing what Bitcoin can do when you compare it in that way. Just goes to show you how stupid and moronic these other chains are, and the people that are behind them. Honestly, just absolutely ridiculous. So let's just play spot the biggest block on Bitcoin. Oh dear, got some small ones today, but there's a 3.9, so we're still ahead of, still winning today. Oh yeah. So B Crash had a 3.2. Yeah, luckily 3. Tau saving the day in the last block. Phew! Hash rate by network, yeah, we've all seen this. Hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility. Once it has utility, it can then develop a value. When it has value, it can, well, should we say, I need to get this right. When it has value, when it has utility, it can create value. When it has value, it can then develop a price. And when it develops a price, that price can then be used as a measurement against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. There we go. Right, so it's going to be utility, create value, develop a price, measured against other costs of goods and services. There we go. The shitcoiners wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. Like, literally not a clue. But to be honest with you, I don't care. Like, you know, I'm all about the quality. Yeah, the quality. Like I've said before many times, 10 people with a fundamental understanding of a subject can do more than 1 million people who don't have a clue. So what's the point? Like an utter waste of time trying to pander to all these shitcoiners who know nothing. I'd rather just like educate people who you know, actually have the capabilities to understand this so they can do something with it. You know, and even if you don't feel as though you want to build or create, you know, I mean, you can educate. You know, who cares? I mean, I actually find what I'm doing fun, but I suppose in a way it's because I like to be nosy. I mean, I'm an investor. You know, I've got a lot of money, well, for me, like invested in this. So therefore, I have a vested interest in keeping tabs on my investment. That's why I'm not looking at the price. I don't give a monkeys about the price. I'm looking at the investment. I'm looking at the value going in, because that's what's going to pay off. You know, price follows value, follows utility. There we go. Bcrash, Coolcoin, just we're going to stop overnight. Bcrash, Bitcoin, hash rate, Bcrash, Bitcoin, proof of work, yada, yada, yada. Oh, look at that. 117,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than it is Coolcoin. And a douchebag, that turncoat Diego, who has suddenly gone on this piece of shit Bcrash. Look at that. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, we're on P2P cash for the world, but it's going to cost you. Idiot. Idiot. Huh. So it's currently 7.7% more profitable to mine on Coolcoin. But, you know, it's because the number go up. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Yep, Bitcoin winning. Oh, transactions by network. Coolcoin winning. Transactions per on network per block. Never mind. Fees, there we go, look at that. Fees USD, Bitcoin smashing it. Fees Satoshis, Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio, again, comes to time, follows price, follows value, follows utility. Blockchain growth by network, just laughing at Bcrash there. Absolutely hilarious. It is such a bag of shit, Diego. Bitcoin hash rate, 7 days. Pooling, just pushing Binance down into 3rd. BTC.com down at 5th. Global hash, whoa, what is this? What is this? Whoa, global hash rate 24 hours. What is going on? F2 Pool has turned their hash rate right down. Oh. Could they be getting ready for the switch? What is going on? I mean, we know that they're taking a little bit of heat from you know, the shitcoin crypto douchebags at the moment, because they say they've been selling their core coin, and why wouldn't they? Because it's an absolute piece of shit. But this, look, I'm not used to seeing this. So Huobi, no, Huobi, second place. So pooling on global hash rate 24 hours, followed by Huobi, followed by Antpool, then Binance and Cano. So F2 Pool and BTC.com that are usually, well, F2 Pool's usually first, Pooling second, BTC.com third. They've now switched position and are in 6th and 7th. Interesting. Tal increased their overall hash rate to 0.2%. This is where the politics lie, ladies and gentlemen. Something is afoot. Something is going on. Okay, right. So this is Cool Coin, which pretty much nearly always mirrors 24-hour hash rate. So yeah, F2 Pool and Binance down on Cool Coin. But the Tel, see this again. I'm gonna touch on this in just a second. You know, all these shitcoiners that spend all day looking at number go up and these effing like magic carpets, crystal balls, ascending triangles, pendant flags, all this absolute crap. Like, it literally means absolutely effing nothing. Whereas Tal not mining core coin, when we can see here that it is actually 7.7% more profitable to mine core coin, is a huge sign. Does number go up tell you that? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. See, these are the kind of fundamental indicators that only intelligent people would look at. You know, not that I'm blowing my own trumpet, but I'm just saying it's so stupid. Like, we'll look at a video in a minute of some douchebag just being an smoker pipe says imbeciles. That's a good word. You know, I can feel it. I can feel the emotion. Imbeciles. Imbeciles. Alright. B crash. Total imbeciles here. Total imbeciles. Got Antpool, BTC topped, and again, don't know who they are, but Antpool and BTC.com, you know, part of Bitmain, via BTC, like again, I think just literally trying to hedge their bets because they don't really have a clue. You know, Hathor's turned down the heat a little bit on B crash. Ooh, F2 Pools on there a little bit. Right. Okay, here we go. This is Bitcoin. Look at that. Tal taking the lead, but Huobi has still got a little bit on B crash. But Huobi macking it hard on core coin. You know, I mean, Huobi are a huge miner. I don't understand. You know, I mean, they seem to be critical of, you know, of Craig sending out his letters. You know, the copyright registration or enforcing the copyright registrations, which is a bit like, I don't know, a bit stupid if you are. Well, I mean, this, you know, it doesn't make sense. You know, you're in Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. It's blatantly obvious that Craig is Satoshi Nakamoto. Like, it's just so blatantly obvious. Well, if you're intelligent, I mean, if you're able to like join the dots together. Literally, when I did my research, and believe me, I did a lot. Literally every single avenue, every single road, every single nook and cranny, every single alleyway, every single guinea that I went down, you know, guinea that I went down, in terms of doing my research, coming at it from different point of views, as I started digging, Craig was always there at the bottom, you know, these avenues that I'd gone down. And it was just like, you know, you just put the circumstantial evidence together and it's just like, he is the only one that is always there. No matter which angle you approach your investigation of Bitcoin from, you go down that little rabbit hole and there's Craig just smiling at you, like waving at the bottom. You know, oh, you know, and again, this was before he'd even, well, before I knew that he'd actually admitted that he was Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, I didn't know anything about him then, but you know, when you keep coming across the same name that keeps cropping up and up and up time and time again, you know, you're like, hold on a minute, like, you know, yeah, and then you look back at all the research that you've done, and it's just like Craig. There is no other person. There is no other person, you know, that has got so much to do with everything. You know, it has to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And then you listen to him like absolutely adamant about the white paper. You know, like there is nobody who has defended that white paper more vigorously than CSW, like to the absolute letter. You know, won't tolerate any bullshit whatsoever, and explains it so well and reasons why. Yeah, there is no one else. You know, and then you look at look at the amount of flack that he gets and the amount of attention he gets, negative attention, and you're like, hold on a minute, this is well over the top. You know, for somebody that is, you know, for all these people that are meant to be praising Bitcoin and saying how, you know, how good the white paper is and stuff, and you've got this one person defending the white paper, you know, like literally the only one, and then, you know, he's getting all this flack. It just doesn't make sense. Is Bitcoin brilliant? As Jeff Garzik said, you know, well, in fact, let's just remind ourselves of that Jeff Garzik quote. Let me send that to myself. We shall find that in just 1 second. Here we go. Into my my database of all these images. Let me just find it. I'll just keep jabbering away while I'm doing this so that you guys know that I am actually here. Because I don't have any background music. Maybe background music is something that I need to look into possibly. Right, just these images are coming up of series 1. Okay, it's not there. Just have a look at these other ones. See, like I know it's here somewhere. Like literally like a dog with a bone. So I will find it because I know that it is here. It is here somewhere. Yes, indeed it is. Okay, it's just not where I'm looking at the moment. Okay, it's not in that folder. Is it really gonna be? Oh, it might well be in this big one. This big file that I have. Right. Let's find this. Because I mean, if we don't find it, I know it will be on the internet anyway. So we can just type it in like a Jeff Garzik, something to do with space and rockets and all that. A rocket scientist. So yeah, he you know, kind of like credibility, gives him kudos, shall we say? Okay, just coming up to my older images here. Scanning. Gonna find this bad boy. You know, stay positive. Just bringing my eyes. Oh, got it! Get in there. Here we go. This is the one we want. That's the one. When I first heard about Bitcoin, I thought it was impossible. How can you have a purely digital currency? Can't I just copy your hard drive and have your Bitcoins? I didn't understand how that could be done. And then I looked into it and it was brilliant. Let's see, I'm not sure if there's a date on that one. But Jeff Garzik, here we go. Founder of Dunvegan Space Systems. You know, so he looked into it and it was brilliant. This was before like second layer bullshit came along. Yeah, before Roger and his mates thought they'd like tamper with it and turn it into an absolute load of shit. You know, we've got Michael Saylor, you know, another one who's done his research saying, look, it will hold big blocks on the blockchain. You know, it's all this bullshit. So it's just like, you've got Craig saying, yes, the white paper is brilliant. You know, we are not changing it because it does all this stuff. And then all these douchebags, you know, attacking him for it. Like, what on earth? Like, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But, yeah, there we go. Lost my train of thought there. But, yeah, Tal, massive indicator. Massive indicator. So again, just for newbies, we'll have a quick look at these other graphs just quickly. Bitcoin blocks live. So actually, this is quite interesting. So Jimmy Mac, if he's in the chat box, sent me. Let's see if I can find it actually. Sent me a DM early today. He said here, hey, there's someone in the Telegram group. They're saying there's a problem with BSV. They're saying that the mempool has a 250 megabytes of transactions that haven't been cleared for 2 weeks, and showed this page. So first of all, I sent him a micropayment straight through. In fact, it's meant to be a mempool, not mempool test. And click on the link here. So okay, it's like a 30 days, but what are these graphs? Well, just look at the title. Look. So this says like an unconfirmed transaction count. Well, like, is this what say unconfirmed transaction count? Unconfirmed. Not really too sure what that is, but it's like pending transaction fee. Again, that's nothing. Mempool size. Again, that just shows you the size that's available in there, which is huge. Unconfirmed transaction count. Well, who knows? I mean, Joho's. I mean, you scroll down to the bottom of the page and look, they're asking for a Bitcoin Cash donation. So immediately, massive red flag. But you look at this. Look, this is the mempool right here. All the data after it has had an instant transaction by 50% of the nodes in the network goes into the mempool. Then it's in the mempool for maybe like 10 minutes while all these miners and payment processors compete for it to put it in a block, and then it goes into the blockchain, and then the mempool starts again every 10 minutes. That is it. So graphs like that are just absolute bollocks. Like, absolute bollocks. So again, just for any newbies who want to know what this is, let me explain this. Once the transactions are confirmed by 50% of the nodes, which is instant because it's a small world network, all the nodes agree with it, it's broadcast on the network, that transaction is not reversible. The nodes have picked up on it. All it is that the nodes cannot store it. It needs to be stored in numerical order. It needs to be stored in a sensible way. That's what the blockchain does. It stores vast amounts of data. But first of all, in order to store those vast amounts of data, you first of all need a way to pick up on that data. So first of all, the nodes recognize the transactions. As soon as they recognize the transactions are then placed into the mempool with all the data that is on them, where it cannot be cracked, hacked, altered, changed, or deleted. Because unless you're putting a huge amount of hash rate on the network, which is an illegal activity, and you'll just simply cause a chain split, but you still won't lose the data. You can't change it, and then it just simply goes onto the blockchain for storage. The blockchain is just simply like an infinite mathematical sum. That's literally all it is. So the data cannot be changed without changing the entire mathematical sum, which will basically mean scrapping the entire system. Obviously when the system was small, somebody else might be able to build a bigger and better one. But the size of it now, no chance. Like, absolutely no chance. Billions it would cost. But it got some nice juicy blocks on the blockchain that we're looking at here. Nice and colourful. So again, if you scroll over one of these blocks, like we'll just do this most recent one, a 21.54 megabyte block, got the hash number, the height, mined by Tal, size, have we got the right one? Oh, it's 11.45. Time and date, the transaction count, and the total fees in the block. Now, once those fees in the block surpass the block reward, the entire system will be economically self-sustaining, and it will be no longer dependent on the block reward. That's the whole point. Bitcoin just simply helps the system get off the ground. It is literally the most amazing system, you know, that I've ever come across in my life. Like, quite literally, just amazing. Again, for any newbies looking at this, BitInfo charts has just got some interesting metrics that you can use for comparison purposes. So we've got charts here with various different metrics on that you can see. Laughing at Dogecoin there, absolutely hilarious. BitInfo charts, again, you've got all these different shitcoins across the top, and you've got the different metrics highlighted in blue. So do average transactions per hour. You go to log, go to 3 years. And Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, is the one in blue that is absolutely motoring. Like, literally absolutely motoring. Yeah, there we go. Let me just go back to the Maxon browser, see if there was any other charts I want to look at. Yeah, let's have a quick look at trends.cat. In fact, we'll just go to Bitcoin Blocks Live and have a quick look at charts here. See what's going on. Wow, look at that. Whoa, Twitch has jumped TDXP app. Look at that. Look at this. Twitch, like, absolutely on a roll there. I think TDXP app was third at one point, but Twitch, like, absolutely macking it. Just below Peer Games and Predicticology. I mean, they're huge. I found them the other day actually on Twitter. Started following them. In fact, we'll just type that in the search bar while I'm here. Here we go. Hopefully it'll come up. Predicticology. There we go. I'm assuming this is the one. Predicticology is an environmental and ecological science firm with a focus on rigorous science, real-world data, and predictive modeling. There we go. Predicticology.com. See what this is. There's a website built. Is this just like a big image on here or what? Any links? Just got admin. There we go. So we are currently under construction. Please email for more information. Or just simply wait for that information to come out, which is what I think I'll do, because I like having my fingers in many different pies as a manner of speaking. But yeah, I mean, they are on a roll, like an absolute tear at the moment. So that's pretty great. Let's just have a quick look at trends.cash. Here we go. See if we can see Twitch. So apps by money spent. Loads of people spending lots of big dosh on TDXP app, where dirty traders can be unsullied. And apps ranking by performed actions. Again, I mean, these are all ones, you know, being developed. You know, there's no links to these yet. You know, with these names that don't really give too much away at the moment, really. But yeah, all good stuff. So I've just got a few articles that I want to read before we get into the videos and stuff. In fact, I wonder if you guys can see TDXP, this TX Street. It sometimes doesn't show too well, the visualizations on Twitch. Maybe because it takes up like quite a bit of screen data, like who knows. But we'll just wait for this to come up, because if I mean, it's really funny. It's really funny. Turn that off. Turn that off. Look at this. This is CoreCoin. So yeah, I mean, this is why these shitcoiners are so obsessed with the meme pool, because it is literally replaced by fee. I mean, look at all these transactions queued up here. I mean, this is just absolutely hilarious. You know, and then all these transactions on Ethereum costing an absolute fortune. I was listening to Mike. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can see this, but a whole load of transactions just got ejected from the block on CoreCoin. I'm just keeping an eye on Oh, there we go. Yeah, you guys can probably just see this on Twitch TV. Transactions being ejected from the first block and put into the second. Oh dear, honestly, it's just an absolute shit show. It's hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. Yeah, and we've seen people like complaining about these the gas fees on Ethereum. I mean, that's kind of like the big talking point at the moment. It's hilarious. So let's have a look at these transactions here. We look. So Cointelegraph says nearly 88% of all BTC transfers are overpaying transaction fees. Yeah, because it's just an absolute piece of shit. And here we go. Let's start with this one. Cointelegraph. It said it's not just Ethereum that's suffering from high fees. A record number of Coolcoin transactions are clogging the network, pushing transaction costs near double digits. Let's have a look at this. When it decides to come up, here we go. Bitcoin mempool clogs up with 125,000 transactions waiting. While the number of Coolcoin transactions that can fit in a block remains the same, demand on the network is leading to a rising transaction costs. I mean, people don't use it. I mean, this is what's so funny. Yeah, they're literally just like hodl. It's bollocks. Because the people who created it want them to hodl. Oh, don't use it. Yeah, don't look at how shit we've turned. Don't look at the piece of shit that we've turned it into. Otherwise, you'd realise it's an absolute piece of shit. I mean, this is how stupid the majority of the population is. The number of transactions waiting to be confirmed in the Coolcoin mempool surged briefly above 125,000 today. This represents the equivalent of roughly 149 megabytes worth of data waiting to be added to the blockchain, which is enough to fill at least 107 upcoming blocks. Although smaller than the spike that saw the 143,000 plus transaction backlog in December 17, 2020, the increasing cluttered mempool is emboldening Coolcoin's critics while providing forks with talking points about the speed and cost of cryptocurrency transactions. Somebody making a point there. Over the past 3 months, the daily average Bitcoin transaction fee has varied between $2.18 and $17.20. Makes buying a coffee or any other consumer purchase with Coolcoin very expensive. Absolutely ridiculous. The mempool is commonly referred to as the waiting area for incoming transactions before they are confirmed, verified independently on each node connected to the network. The last time the mempool cleared to zero was Jan 1st of this year. Even before then, mempool clearances were already becoming a rare occurrence. It's such a load of shit. Such a load of shit. According to the Coolcoin network stats tracker, a mempool.observer, a fee of at least 93 sat bytes is currently recommended to assure a transaction is included in the upcoming block. At a reference price of $46,000 for a Coolcoin and a median size of 224 bytes per transaction, this results in a transaction fee of $9.63. Like, why would you spend that to buy a coffee on top of the actual price of the coffee? It's absolutely insane. Earlier today, the recommended fee for the next block inclusion climbs to 141.9 sat straight bytes, according to a similar tweet-based service for monitoring fees on the Bitcoin network. I mean, look at that. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's a mockery of Satoshi's creation. On February 8th, a total of 84.72 BTC was collected in transaction fees, which equates to $2.05 million in miner revenue. Transaction fees had remained quite reasonable through most of November and December 2020, even after a sweeping bull market pushed prices above the previous all-time highs. That's because people are just simply buying and hodling. They've been told to hodl. The people, funding Blockstream, spinning the political narrative of hodl, absolute arseholes. Coolcoin's premier second layer scaling solution, which is an absolute load of bollocks, the centralized system, the Lightning Network, is also witnessing high records in participating node counts and dollar value of cumulative BTC capacity across all channels. On Feb 2nd, a mega exchange OKX announced plans to integrate Lightning, massive mistake, into their exchange processes, serving to save itself money in transaction fee costs while also unburdening the mempool from their transaction demand. Just use the genuine Bitcoin. Literally, it is absolutely insane what these people are doing. One, using the genuine Bitcoin. The data goes through the chain. It is secure. It has a value. Secondly, it's absolutely cheap as chips. Fractions of a cent. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, it's all political spin because they just don't want people to know this. Just... Ugh. Shitcoiners. Do my head in. But it's only because they're just really just unbelievably dumb. Like I said, dumb is dangerous. Real dangerous. So let's see this article here by CoinGeek. Bitcoin at scale is the most private money in history. At the timestamp link above, Bitstock's CEO Michael Hudson beautifully you're gonna make me pronounce this word? What's this? Juxtaposes. Is that maybe juxtaposes maybe? The much scrutinized dichotomy between privacy and anonymity. Hudson criticizes the way digital currency wallets store coins today, stating that this makes it easy for a company like Chainalysis to do what they do. He then states that the way Bitstocks is managing their coins for their users is unique, stating that he is pretty effing confident that Chainalysis will not be able to trace the transactions while remaining legally and lawfully compliant. Interesting. So basically what he's saying is third parties. Which is good. Yeah, so as in you still have privacy because it's you and the party that's conducting trade, but no third party like Chainalysis will be able to trace the transactions, which is what you want. These statements collaborate with Dr. Wright's article on Bitcoin's privacy model, which was written to teach users how to maintain privacy when transacting. A simple technique Wright describes is to split coins ahead of spending into approximate denominations that can be used at each merchant separately. For example, if I have one BSV coin and plan to spend according to the following budget, so we've got merchant, grocery, breakfast, gas, lunch cost. One can split these coins into sub-denominations. For example, 4 coins, 0.05, 0.1, 0.2, 0.15 could make up the 0.5 total cost at the grocery store to achieve further obfuscation such that it is nearly impossible to tell where the coins are coming from. Handcash implements this type of system via output bills. However, as briefly touched on in that article, change outputs can cause issues like revealing information about the participants. Spending this way removes the need for change, which also reduces complexity in preserving privacy while being optimal for peer-to-peer offline transactions. Granted, Bitcoin is far away from being used as a conventional method of payment for the degree where specific amounts match prices. Excluding lunch cost 0.1 BSV instead of 0.12871.805 BSV. This is why scalability is so important. Despite Bsv Wallet's efforts in 2020 to go peer-to-peer, this approach still misses the mark on privacy and online capability. Contrary to the theoretical way of handling peer-to-peer, which consisted on the receiver's service to do the broadcast and transaction validation, we have found that in practice there is a better way to do it. The sender broadcasts the transaction and at the same time it sends it to the receiver plus a signed message for the receiver to verify who sent it. This way we can get rid of many extreme cases where the receiver might not get to broadcast. While these efforts did gain an advantage in wallet scalability, the consequences of an immediate broadcast by either side kill some powerful use cases. Wright himself chastised this approach in his epic Arnhem speech from 2017 at the timestamped link below. All right, so we'll watch that in just a second then, and then that'll be the end of the YouTube trailer. If the sender can transact without caring about change, they pass the raw transaction directly to the merchant without ever needing to be connected to the internet. The point brought up in the article by Handcash and Moneybun becomes moot since merchants wanting to be paid as soon as possible. It is not the wallet or software provider's concern to make sure the receiver gets paid. Additionally, the raw transaction, along with a local copy of block headers for a special payment verification check, contain all the necessary information to validate without ever making a network call. Wallets can then discard the UTXO locally when the sender gives the merchant the raw transaction, so a double spend is not necessarily a concern. As CSW said in the white paper, so therefore we don't care about double spends. This is how a Bitcoin can truly function as peer-to-peer private cash without the internet. This scenario can be repeated where the merchant splits their newly received coins in the same way before spending. The reason for groups such as Core opposing the structure listed as Section 9 of the Bitcoin white paper is that they oppose scaling Bitcoin. With more transactions, the system is larger and also more private. We can use the fact that Bitcoin allows many large in and out transactions to be created and split and join again to allow the system to be used without large, unconfirmed chains of transactions, allowing special payment verification to function well. Services benefit from this architecture as well. In Dean Little's Bsv ABI proposal, he highlighted the advantages of this model for applications. Alright, cool. This design pattern is exactly how the new tech wallet Twitch wallet works. Oh, cool. Which is why it is such a great UX improvement over wallets who broadcast the transaction first. Let's see what Bender has said here. Twitch is my morning coffee companion. One of the first things I check besides markets. I'm loving the new Twitch wallet as well. Way faster and no swiping or waiting 10 seconds for transactions to float. Good job. Yeah, it is. It's a great wallet, that one. Bitcoin can be used in a way those on the outside looking in cannot trace what you were doing, but participants can in the case they have to, ideally, how markets should function. By using the electronic cash to its full capability, we can hide from Big Brother while showing him our middle finger. See also CoinGeek Live presentation, blockchain intelligence, analytics, forensics, and a compliance tool for Bitcoin SV. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, so we'll leave it there. I've been going for 57 minutes, but we'll leave it there for the YouTube trailer. Here we go. Yeah, so this one's for you, Richie Rich, who thinks that Bitcoin is dependent on all these shit for brain shitcoiners changing their minds over Bitcoin. Like, this market cap here of 4.1 trillion is absolute peanuts. It is literally, as Craig said, it is a grain of sand in comparison to what the size of what Bitcoin, which is just simply BSV, will be. Like, this market that we're looking at here, this utter shitcoin market, is just simply a pump and dump playground. That's literally all it is. Like, the only reason I look at it is because price affects the value for money that I get when I go in. So I want a lower price. So I'm looking at this going, oh, you know, is it like, because we know it's just like a pump and dump. So, you know, number go up, number come back down. So long as there isn't any, like, you know, really big juicy news that's come out, it's all bollocks. It's total hype. So number will go up and number will come back down again. You know, but I mean, that's literally it. You know, $1.4 trillion is absolute bollock. It is minuscule. It's a speck of dust in comparison to the market cap that Bitcoin will have. Bitcoin is in no way dependent on any of these shitcoiners changing their minds whatsoever. It is big corporations like the pharmaceutical industry starting to adopt it. All the financial services using it to store and keep their data safe. Because at the moment they spend millions, if not billions, on all these various different, you know, data centers employing different data, you know, managers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Cloud, and all that, because they're absolutely paranoid about keeping their data safe. Because it's trust that underpins the entire financial system. So they're sort of like writing, storing their data in multiple locations, whereas now they don't need that. The entire world has a single ledger that can store absolutely everything, because it's the ledger itself that is distributed, that is truly decentralized, and anyone and everyone can use it. So literally all the world's data, literally everything, will go on chain. And the reason it will go on chain is because the more and more people use it, the cheaper it becomes, because Bitcoin is all about adding value. This is the whole thing. You add value to Bitcoin. You add value by encouraging more people to use it. So, like, who cares? It's a bit like a coffee shop. If you want to sell more coffee, you lower the price. When you lower the price, you're going to get more people that can afford it. The more people that can afford it, the more people will come into your shop and drink that tea. Drink that coffee. But obviously coffee is usually dependent on supply and demand as well, and overheads and various other factors. But Bitcoin, we want as many. Because the miners and payment processors get paid in Bitcoin, they have every incentive to increase the value of that Bitcoin. And the way you increase the value is by making it cheaper for people to use. More and more people come in and use it. You scale it so that more and more people are able to use it. You make it faster so that more and more people will be able to use it. I said 1.4 trillion is a huge for a Ponzi. Yeah, it's the biggest Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen. But when I say the biggest Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen, absolutely. But I mean, this is why the Tulip Trust was given its name, Tulip Trust, representing a bubble that it is gonna pop. But you have to understand this, because if you don't understand what Bitcoin is capable of, you will get caught off guard. Like literally, Bitcoin will rocket to like $40 million, like in no time. I was initially thinking it might be $40 million in like 20 years. Then I was just like, actually, you know what? I'm probably going to cut that down to 10. I'm actually thinking now I'm going to reduce that even further. Like literally, it will be going up by like $1 million a day. Like we here in BSV, I know this sounds a little bit horrible to say, but we are going to be the next financial elite. Like literally, like the 1% of the 1% is where all of us in BSV are going to be. Now, when that happens, if you are not prepared for it, positive cortisol will flood your brain and turn you into a selfish, inconsiderate, greedy prick. You will become depressed, you will lose all your friends, and and you'll probably end up killing yourself, because you'll be so unhappy with the fact that you've driven all your friends away, being an absolute douchebag. This is what I'm saying. You have to, and if you understand how it has done that, you don't feel like you got lucky. Because when you feel as though, when you say to yourself, oh, I got lucky, you're saying, oh, I got lucky at the expense of somebody else who got unlucky. So what you need to do is you need to be grateful for it. But you can only be grateful if you understand how it has happened. And the only way you can understand how it's happened is if you have an understanding of the fundamentals of this thing. This is a medium of exchange that enables, encourages, and accelerates the facilitation of trade. But it's a medium of exchange that is made up of light. Literally, light, which is the cheapest and the fastest form of energy in the world. This thing is just going to absolutely explode. So we might be looking at, we'll be thinking, oh, wow, the rich elite, they've got so much money. If one Bitcoin, one BSV is worth 40 million, how much money are you going to have? And it's not going to stop. 40 million is conservative, because that is just the derivatives market. Literally. That is just the derivatives market. That doesn't take into account every single email in the world that is being sent, every form of communication. Everything is digital. It will all run on the blockchain. Absolutely everything. It will all be powered by micro payments. Like, think about that. So that's what I'm saying. $40 million is just the derivatives market. It doesn't take into account the value of all the emails being sent all around the world. I mean, Bitcoin can be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. And like I said, a $1.4 trillion market cap is pathetic for Bitcoin alone. You know, like literally, you know, the derivatives market alone is estimated to be between 800 trillion and $1 quadrillion. You know, that's just the derivatives market. It is all coming to Bitcoin. Everything is coming into BSV. And you have to understand this. Or else, like I said, you'll turn into an inconsiderate prick. And nobody will like you, and you'll become depressed. But like, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. What are you going to do to help? You know, I'm already thinking, you know, how I would like to help. You know what I mean? I'm more than happily pay for, you know, MRI machines at, you know, my local hospitals and stuff like that. You know, just helping my community where I live. In fact, to be honest with you, I'll be helping out Leeds as a city. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'll probably be. I don't think Leeds has got many billionaires. Who knows? I might be the first. I might be the first billionaire that lives in Leeds. Who knows? You know. But you know, when you've got $1 billion, I mean, it's so much money. You know, think about. I mean, you could renovate an entire hospital. You know. I mean, think about the amount of resources that you could provide to local charities. You know, literally like rejuvenate your high street. You know, get businesses going. You know, I mean, literally, like I said, we're using a medium of exchange that increases in value rather than one that just goes down in value and eventually drives businesses out of business. This thing is just it's just amazing. So it's like, what are you going to do? You know, are you just going to like go around with like, you know, like however many $1 billion you've got in your hand cash, just like showing it to people? Oh, look how many billions! Look at me! Look what I've got! Yeah, I've got all these billions in my hand cash. Yeah, they'll be like, mate, you're a dick. You know, why are you telling me about all this money that you've got unless you're going to give me some? You know, so it's just like I'm not going to be going around like bragging to everybody saying, oh yeah, look how much money I've got. But I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be doing positive things with it. How can I help out? What can I do? You know, there will be people. You know, unfortunately, I mean, I've got a family member who's one, unfortunately. You know, they do not care what Bitcoin is and, you know, the positive effects it can have on the world. They're like, nah, not interested. Just want to make some money for myself and sit my ass. All right, well, you're a dick. You know, that's literally all they want. They can't see past it. Oh, I'm just going to make $1 million and toss everybody off. Oh, that sounded really bad. Toss everything off, should I say. You know, just like tell everyone to go screw themselves. You know, I've got what I wanted and you can fend for yourself. Yeah, how about lending a hand? How about helping people out? How about contributing to making other people's lives better? You know, that's what Bitcoin would do. So I hope that has shed some light on what's going to happen here. So yeah, on that note, it's time for Ding a Dong. JP asks, I heard a rumor Cardano is about to be adopted by an African nation as currency. Does Cardano have the capabilities to do this without infringing on an end-chain patent? Well, Cardano can only be mined by input-output Hong Kong. It is a centralized project. It's an absolute piece of shit. It has no credibility as money whatsoever. So let's say like all these the African nation starts like I mean, but things like Charles Hoskinson is an absolute exit scammer. You know, they did an ICO and it's just like, oh, a country in Africa. Yeah, it's just like, oh, well, I'll just pick a country that I think is in the deepest, darkest corner of the world and I'll mention that one because nobody's ever going to go there to check it out because he's talking absolute shit. Absolute shit. You know, and let's say this small little deepest darkest country in the corner of Africa, you know, where very few people have got mobile phones anyway, like does adopt it, the world is not going to be using it. They are never going to accept ADA because it's an absolute centralized piece of shit as a medium of exchange. So they're going to be screwed. It's going to go to zero because it's worth absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's just like a pump and dump. So yeah, there's no point in that whatsoever. And personally, I think it's an absolute load of bollocks. What was the next one? Wi-Fi. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, well, N-Chain have got lots of patents anyway. But I mean, it's just like I said, Cardano is a centralized project. It's absolute bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. I mean, yeah, all all the if it's an illegal security and they sent out a cease and desist letter, input output Hong Kong gets shut down, Cardano vanishes. Like, absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Wi-Fi asks, can you talk about the Peter McCormack CSW case that's coming up on Feb 16th? Well, I did a show on just Peter McCormack being an absolute douchebag yesterday. Probably spoken enough on it there, but he's not defending his libel claim. He already put out his statement yesterday. We'll just bring this picture up again, just to remind ourselves how absolutely fantastic this was. Craig Wright submitted a crazy amount of evidence that he is Satoshi in my lawsuit. What's your point? So yeah, he's just. I personally think that Craig is going to be using that lawsuit to fundamentally prove who he is. So hold on to your hats if that's going to be in 5 days. Whew, jeepers. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's been rescheduled. Who knows? I mean, because of COVID and all this kind of crap. Next question. The double spend occurrence on BTC recently is not widely reported. Is that the method CSW will use to topple BTC, Bcrash, etc.? Nah. He just did that to show that it's an absolute piece of crap. But I mean, shitcoiners wouldn't understand this. Like, shitcoiners shit for brains. Like literally. Yeah, the double spend was just kind of like, look, on the 21st day of the 21st century at 2121 on a network with 21 million coins. He just did it for shits and giggles. Yeah, that was it. Just, I mean, intelligent people will take one look at that and just go, oh my god, that whole thing is an absolute piece of shit. So it basically is a way of weeding out shitcoiners, really, because he knows what's coming. So, like I said, I mean, I almost think that he's kind of like worried that, let's say, somebody buys BSV and it goes to 40 million. It's literally, they're going to feel like they just simply took a punt and won the lottery. Took a punt at the casino. Oh, I'll just buy BSV, because it's and like I said, if you feel as though you won't deserve it because you haven't got a fundamental understanding of it, you're going to turn into a dick. And like, who wants any more dicks in the world? I mean, there's enough shitcoiners as there are. Basically. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's it. Which says, people need to know you're selling coffee. I'm quite happy to become a cajillionaire. Yeah, but I mean, what's money if you're not going to do anything with it? It's a medium of exchange. It's meant to be exchanged for things returned. But I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to like turn your house into Debenhams, turn your house into the next Harvey Nicks, and just like literally have, just buy yourself loads of shit. You'll become miserable. Think of what do you actually want to do apart from like buy and hoard a load of shit that you can't take with you when you pop your clogs at the end of the day anyway. How can you help? How can you contribute? That's what I'm saying. Start thinking about these things. How can you help? I mean, there is so much, pain and devastation and destruction in the world. And to be honest with you, it's all basically the fault of money. Like in Australia, there's an issue with the energy bills because they can't distribute, heating and electricity, and it's all a fault of the medium of exchange that's being used. We've got enough food to feed the entire world. We've got enough energy for everybody to have it. The reason people don't have it is because the money system that we're using at the moment, this fiat currency system that constantly loses value, won't allow it because it's a piece of shit. This is why we need Bitcoin. It's so huge. So yeah, just get used to it. But enjoy yourself as well. So yeah, handles and paymails in the chat box, peeps. Let's do this. I'll then go back and edit my show so it's suitable for YouTube and upload it onto Streamanity. Here we go. Just made my Handcash more accessible on my phone. Sending. So JPaps is at the bottom there. Here we go. JPaps, that comes up. Excellent. Swiping to send, on the way to you. Here we go. Got it. I think that's everybody. Nice one. Or another epic show, 1 hour 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. So we'll leave it there, and as ever, remember, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Same time tomorrow. Catch you guys later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. Buy Bsv.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah! One vision.